So before we start the video, I'd like to ask you guys to please consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video, as it helps the channel grow. So let's get into it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, week 14 of the NFL season is coming to a close. And for the Chicago Bears, they took an embarrassing loss to the San Francisco 49ers on Sunday. In this video, per usual, I'm going to give my recap on what I saw during the game, give my grades for offense, defense, special teams, and coaching. I also will be announcing our next giveaway on this video. So, yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. What's up, guys? KT here, back at it with another video. Today, we're doing the Bears. The Bears, once again, embarrassed themselves on the road. They take a 38-13 loss to the San Francisco 49ers in a game that I thought the Bears had a good chance of going in there and shocking them. Just, you know, considering what the San Francisco 49ers went through the previous 2 weeks. But it was my mistake for giving this team any type of hope going into this game. They get starched on the road. So yeah, it's going to be a bad recap video. This might somewhat turn into a rant, but I'm ready for it to turn into a rant. But before we start the recap, I want to let you guys know that I am doing another $100 Amazon gift card giveaway. I told you guys that I would be doing one and be announcing it this week with this video. So if you look on the screen right now, you'll see all the rules that you need to be able to enter this giveaway. I also will be putting this comment in this comment section. I also will be pinning this comment in the comment section, so make sure you guys follow those rules to a T, and you will be eligible for the giveaway. I will be announcing the winners towards the end of the month. So yeah, make sure you guys follow those rules, get your comment down on this video, and you will be entered for the giveaway. But you know, the main question everybody wants to know, the elephant in the room: how did Caleb Williams play on Sunday? I thought he played just okay. 17 of 23 for 134 yards passing, averaged 7.9 yards per throw, 2 touchdowns, took 7 sacks, and had a 116.9 QB rating. Caleb Williams, I guess, he struggled mightily in the first half, had a lot more struggles in the second half. It was a little bit better, but overall he just wasn't good on Sunday. He wasn't all that good on Sunday. It looked like he took a step back. We saw some of the same issues that we saw early in the season with him standing in the pocket taking sacks. A lot of those sacks are not his fault. That offensive line is absolutely awful, and we'll get to that later. But it just felt like there were times where guys were open and he just didn't see them, and he would hold on to the ball a little bit longer than he should have. But there still were a few nice plays that I could think of. The throw to Rome Odunze in the end zone to give the Bears their first touchdown of the day was nice. Good touch, good footwork. He did make a couple plays scrambling out later into the fourth quarter or later into the third quarter to try to keep the Bears drives going. He made another touchdown throw to Rome Odunze towards the end of the game. So overall, Caleb Williams, I thought he played okay. It just felt like he never really got truly comfortable, and it just felt like he regressed a little bit, man. I mean, he just kind of stood there and tried to be a pocket passer. Later in the game, he tried to use his legs a little bit more. But by that point, the game was pretty much over. I'm still excited for Caleb Williams. I still think he's the future. We got to figure out a way to get him started earlier, as he really struggles with these slow starts. Overall, I thought he played okay. I don't think he played particularly bad. There was one turnover that he had, which was pretty much inexcusable, in which he just basically dropped the ball, and that killed all the Bears' momentum on that drive. But let's be real, guys. That game was out of reach, and on top of that, you shouldn't have to rely on your rookie quarterback to play perfect every single game for you to have a chance to win. As you know, we keep having this issue every single week with the Chicago Bears. They have to rely on him to do some heroics and try to bail them out. He just couldn't this game. I thought he played okay, but you know, there's definitely things to improve. We got to get those sacks down. We got to find a way to get him started earlier, but I thought he played okay on Sunday. Rushing the ball was basically non-existent. I'll try to keep this swift, as DeAndre Swift only had 14 attempts for 38 yards. The Bears definitely failed to run the ball at all in this game. It was incredibly frustrating to watch after the Buffalo Bills and the Green Bay Packers ran all over this defense. It felt like they were starting to get it going later into the second half, but once again, the fumble kind of killed that drive where Caleb fumbled. And of course, DeAndre Swift has to have basically perfect blocking to get into space and make guys miss. He's not really much of a tackle breaker, and it just felt like the San Francisco 49ers were plugging up every hole that the Bears were trying to create. That offensive line could get no push. That's why DeAndre Swift only had 38 yards, and he only averaged 2.7 yards per carry. I'm really starting to look at that running back position as a position as need, as DeAndre Swift is nice at times, but is he an every down, is he a 3-down back like he should be in the National Football League? We'll see, but I'm starting to look at that running back position as a position of concern. Other than that, Caleb Williams was the second leading rusher with only 27 yards. Like I said before, he didn't really use his legs like I thought he would in this game. And it just felt like with the amount of pressure that he was seeing in this game, I just thought he would have used his legs a little bit more. But overall, rushing the ball was basically non-existent. The Bears didn't commit to it. Not too much creativity on that side of the ball, and they didn't. And the San Francisco 49ers were having none of that this game. The receiving was equally as putrid. DJ Moore, 8 targets, 6 receptions, 49 yards. Keenan Allen, 5 targets, 3 receptions, 30 yards. And everybody else was pretty much a non-factor. No targets for Cole Kmet. He did have one in the end zone that he dropped on a 2-point conversion. I don't know what's wrong with him. DJ Moore had a couple drops. Keenan Allen had a couple drops. The only receiver that played really well, and pretty much the only guy that played on offense really well, was basically the 2 rookies, Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze, who had 2 touchdowns, which Rome Odunze had a really, really good catch in the back of the end zone, in which he was able to jump up, catch it with his body, look down, and get both feet down in the end zone for the Bears' first touchdown. I'm really excited for Rome Odunze going forward. I do think he's the receiver of the future for this team, as DJ Moore and Keenan Allen have definitely taken a step back, and it just seems like they're not as immensely talented as he is. But overall, this offense was definitely putrid. They had 9 yards total offense in the first quarter. They had -5 passing yards going into the half, and this offensive line kept giving up sacks. We saw Coleman Shelton get beat. We saw Braxton Jones get beat multiple times. And this is a team the 49ers team that didn't have Nick Bosa on there. And they just continued to get through. Leonard Floyd and Gross Matos just continued to get through and just continued to sack Caleb Williams. We kept having drops. We didn't have too many penalties, but it just felt like nobody could get open. Part of that is because of the scheme, and part of that is just because players just didn't look all that energized for this game. I'm going to give the offense an F-. I think it was very much a putrid showing, one of the worst showings we've seen from this Bears offense all year. DJ Moore has to be better. Keenan Allen has to be better, even though I thought he played a better game than DJ. But Rome Odunze and Caleb Williams were the only bright spots on this offense. We could not get our run game going. We couldn't find open guys, and we nearly, we turned the ball over, and that's what happens when you turn the ball over, you lose. This offense was absolutely terrible, so they're going to get an F- for me. I'm going to keep it quick with this defense as well. This defense is absolutely awful. Eric Washington has the worst scheme imaginable for this game. TJ Edwards was the leading tackler, 10 total, 6 solos, 2 tackles for losses, and 1 sack. He had the Bears' only sack this game, and he was the most energetic player on that defense. This defense was absolutely terrible. Besides the scheme part of it, of just running a straight up zone, this defense struggled mightily to get pressure. They couldn't cover. They couldn't stop the run. You had guys like Tariq Stevenson constantly talking but not making plays. You had guys like Darrell Taylor committing penalties. Jalen Johnson getting burnt. It just felt like this defense was not prepared to play against this 49ers team that was really shorthanded. And, I'm very disappointed in this Bears defense, as they started the year very, very well. And as the season went on, they just consistently kept giving up more and more points. I'm starting to look at a couple positions of need on this team as well. We definitely need a bigger defensive line. Gervon Dexter is just not it. He left the game early. We don't have another pass rusher. We don't have anybody who can stop the run. I think we still need one more corner, and we might need another safety, as Jaquan Brisker just cannot stay healthy. And besides Jonathan Owens' garbage time interception. He was basically horrible for the entire game. So that's probably going to be a position of need as well. Tremaine Edmonds has been a disappointment. This defense was absolutely awful. This defense is going to get an F- as well, as when you give up 38 points to the short-handed 49ers, when guys are running wide open over the middle of the field, on the side of the field, that just can't happen. It felt like they played with no effort. It felt like TJ Edwards was a one-man army. And for all those guys that they're paying all that money to, like Jalen Johnson, you know, TJ Edwards cannot be the only guy out there playing with effort. So that defense was absolutely awful. F- for the Bears defense. Special teams was a non-factor in this game. DeAndre Carter had 1 kick return for 25 yards. He left the game early, so that means Joshua Blackwell got punt return and kick return duties. That was a non-factor. I'm going to give the special teams an incomplete grade, as Cairo Santos only hit 1 extra point this game. Didn't even have a chance to hit many field goals, as the Bears barely possessed the ball. So they're going to get a non-factor, or a non-applicable, as special teams had no real impact this game. And finally, the coaching. The coaching has still remained the same. It is still the same awful coaching that we have experienced same every single game this year. We continue to hit a new low. Thomas Brown, despite my better judgment and despite what I was thinking going into this week, completely flopped this game, and I think he might have just ruined his chances of becoming the Bears' next head coach. The offense was stale, it was static, and by the time they finally started to run good offense, the game was already over. Eric Washington was absolutely horrific as the Bears' defensive play caller. This team is just awful, and I'll say this: GM Ryan Poles and President Kevin Warren and the ownership are the main problems with this team. They put all these guys in a horrible situation because they did not do the right thing in the offseason. They did not fire Matt Eberflus in the offseason. They did not bring in another coach for the rookie QB. They did not address the holes in the defensive line or offensive line, and now these issues are starting to show themselves. So yes, the coaching was horrible. Yes, Thomas Brown did not perform well like we thought he would, but they have been put in a horrible situation by the continued misfortunes and the continued bad decisions by this front office and ownership. And despite what people may think, what's going to happen this next coaching cycle, whether you hire Ben Johnson or you hire Mike Vrabel, they won't change until they fire Ryan Poles or fire Kevin Warren and the ownership sells the team. But we both know that will never happen. So if we're all angry about this, then maybe the fans should stop going to the games and start making the ownership see that those seats are getting empty, and maybe they'll make a change or they'll sell the team. But overall, this coaching staff completely flopped their first game. It was absolutely awful. They get an F-, as nothing really changed with Matt Eberflus being fired and Shane Waldron being fired. Nothing changed this game. I don't blame them for everything, but they definitely have to take their share of the blame. I'm definitely blaming the front office and the ownership for this, as they constructed this team. They put this team together and they said make it work with basically no talent on the defensive or offensive line. And they kept a lame duck coach and for the rookie quarterback, and now you're getting the results. The Bears will not win another game this season, and that feels fitting for a franchise of this magnitude. But either way, the Bears take yet another loss to the San Francisco 49ers. They got the Minnesota Vikings on Monday Night Football. They will clearly lose that game, as the Minnesota Vikings have definitely picked it up. I think they just destroyed Atlanta on Sunday. So that's going to be a tough game to watch as well. I'm not expecting much. I'm just ready for the offseason to get here. This team is awful. I'm sick of doing videos like this every single week. So yeah. But I'm going to get up out of here, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing to the channel and liking the videos. It helps the channel grow. Make sure you guys hit that notification bell so you get notified every time I drop one of these Bears videos. Make sure you leave your comment in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about the current state of this Bears team. I definitely will be appreciating the feedback, and make sure you get your comments down for the giveaway. But overall, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Bear down, and I'm out. Peace.